day to you. I sure hope your learning is going well. This is a really, really fun chemistry question. I love redox equations. So first you have to understand, what is a redox chemical reaction? Redox chemical reaction is when an element changes its charge or oxidation state, or you could say oxidation number, during the chemical reaction. So before I do this, rather than going into, I'm not going to go into how you calculate the oxidation number or oxidation state of all the elements, because that is an entire whole lesson. I'm just going to assume that you understand how to determine the charge or oxidation state of an element in a chemical reaction. If not, then you have to reach out to me and I will go over that lesson with you. But I'm going to answer each one of these equations by color. But I did put a few rules down here that are just general rules that will help a lot. Like, all pure elements have an oxidation state or a charge of 0. H always is +1. 0 is always going to be -2. The halogens will always be -1. The transition elements can change in reaction. Some nonmetals can change as well. Now, in the first equation, if you look at the first equation, you look at the charges, how you put these compounds together, you will notice that all the elements maintain the same oxidation state or number. So that means that it is not a redox chemical reaction. No elements are being reduced, which means that you're going to gain an electron, or oxidize, which you're going to lose an electron. None of these will gain or lose electrons. They keep the same oxidation state. Second equation. If you look at the second equation, this is where iron is as a reactant is +3, because you have one iron atom combined with 3 chlorine. Chlorine is a halogen. It's always going to be -1. And if you follow this reaction along, iron turns into a solid. All pure elements are always going to have an oxidation state of 0. So this here is going to gain 3 electrons. It's going to be reduced. It's an oxidation reduction equation. Third equation. You look at the third equation, all the elements in this equation also do not gain or lose any electrons through the reaction. They maintain the same charge. That way you have no redox reaction in the third equation. Fourth equation is a tricky one because they start out with ions. You have aluminum +3. You have a phosphate ion, polyatomic ion with a -3. Produces a solid, aluminum phosphate. As you can see, the aluminum in this compound is still +3. The phosphate is still -3, meaning there's no transfer of electrons here or a redox equation, because aluminum and phosphate maintain their same oxidation state. So number 4 is not a redox equation. Number 5, the fifth equation, if you look again at the charges of all these elements in this equation, they maintain the same charge. None of them gain or lose any electrons. There's no reduction or oxidation going on here in this chemical reaction. That is not a redox equation. So thank you very much for enjoying the redox equations. I hope everything is going great in your learning, and make it a wonderful day.